Are we live? Yes! Yes, guys! Hello and welcome back to the Spurs-related YouTube channel. I nearly forgot my intro. It's been that long. I hope everyone is doing very well this evening. Today, we have a Tottenham miserable Hotspur update for you guys. We're back. We're talking about Tottenham, unfortunately. I know that's not really selling the podcast or the YouTube stream very well tonight, but I'm sure some of you are here for some therapy. I'm sure some of you are here for a bit of a laugh. But Frank, talking of laughs, you wearing your Tottenham hat. How are you doing, mate? It's been a little while.
It has been a while. I'm good. I'm feeling festive. I've been waiting to bring this hat out, and so now I'm feeling positive, feeling festive. Not feeling positive actually. I'm feeling very negative, but feeling festive. But yeah, I think I need to sort of talk about Tottenham to relieve the mind of what I've been experiencing in the last couple of weeks.
I know it's been a shocker, as you can see from the title of the video, guys. It's all about Thomas Frank, and is he under a load of pressure? Yes, of course he is, but how much pressure is he under? How long does Thomas Frank have? We're also going to talk about the discontent and the, I guess you could call it, feud and crisis between the players and the fans, all very toxic. The booing towards Vicario on Saturday, which was, I mean, not great either. And what else? I mean, the poor form. When was the last time we won a game? I think I need to Google it. It's been that long. Definitely 3 losses in a row. And one probably coming tomorrow against Newcastle. But we'll get into things. We will break down some of it tactically for you. Hopefully that will be helpful as well. And of course, we will look at some of the stats from the game and look ahead at the Newcastle game. But guys, if you could do me a massive favor, I can see a few of you are already joining in. Please do me those massive favors. There is just 3 favors I ask for you guys as we try and keep the channel going. Apologies for the inactivity. As I said, we have been very, very busy, but we are going to be hopefully getting back onto it a good 2 or 3 times a week. But if you do want to see that and you have missed us, please do hit the like button, guys. It does help out massively. Turn on the notification bell down below if you never want to miss an offline video. Frank does most of them. And, of course, subscribe to the channel as well. We are on the march to 5,000 subscribers. But, Frank, enough of me talking. Let's catch up on the chat, because I know there's a few people already putting in some great comments, including Logan, saying, "Evening, James and Frank. Big up, lads. Makes you laugh. The players keep coming out with the same apology tactic after we lose, and it's becoming boring. Players need to be held accountable." Do you know what, Frank? I know you've got a lot to say today, but do you know what? This is, for me, something I wanted to talk about. Like, I've got to be honest, Frank. I don't think this squad, and I know Thomas Frank's making mistakes tactically. I know we're not setting up in the right way, and I know, there is question marks over the manager. But for me, we've got to look at the squad, Frank. We're going to be 14th tomorrow if and when we lose, right? We're going to be 14th in the Premier League, I think. Maybe 15th or 14th for definitely. For me, Frank, I don't think we actually have a great squad. And I said this in the summer. I think people overrate players in our team because they think, Pedro Porro, oh, what a player. He's great going forwards. He's terrible defensively, and we saw it again at the weekend, Frank. He made an absolutely terrible, terrible mistake. Again, I'm not saying he's an awful player. I'm just saying I think there needs to be a bit of expectation that actually we haven't got a team that's, in my opinion, Frank, capable of getting top 6, let alone top 8. I just think we need to be a bit more realistic. Is the team better than 15th? I think it should be. But then that's when you have to look at the effort level of the players, the way we're being set up, and the squad depth all play a part. What do you think, mate?
I was having this conversation yesterday with my dad, and he kind of said what you said there. And I don't disagree, by the way, that I think that some of our players, I think we have a lot of players that have an unbelievably high ceiling, but their consistency is on the floor. And so when we're playing well, we look unbelievable. And that's why we sit there and go, we're going to be fantastic. And we don't see it often enough. I think Porro is one at the moment that I'm even questioning him going forward. I think his crossing ability in the last couple of weeks has been pathetic, to be brutally honest. I mean, his crossing numbers in the last couple of months have been diabolical, actually.
Yeah.
And for someone that's we sit there and go, maybe he can't, maybe he's not actually as good as we think he is. But on the flip side, I sit there and I go, maybe we don't have a squad of quality that is going to win you the league, or it's going to come in and finish in the top 4 or 5. But we've got a squad that has enough quality to not have 0.03 or 4 expected goals in nearly every half of football we've played in the last 4 games. That's not good enough. And that is on the manager. They've got Kudus, they've got Xavi Simons, they've got Kolo Muani, they've got Wilson Odobert, they've got Matisse Tell. 4 of those were signed this summer by Thomas Frank. 4 of those. So they're players that he wanted, or maybe he didn't want them, but he certainly approved to them. Maybe he wanted Eze over Simons, but he approved to Xavi Simons. He was obviously okay with that. So they're players that, maybe they're not going to win you the league, or they might not finish in the top 6, 7, 8 this season. But you've got to give it a go. That's my problem with this. It's not. I don't mind losing to Arsenal because they're a good side. I don't mind losing to Chelsea. I don't even mind losing to Fulham. Like it annoys me, and I'm angry, and we should never be losing to Fulham. If we want to be a serious side, then you can't lose to Fulham. But you lose games in the Premier League. It happens. But we were nearly 3-0 down after 10 minutes the other day. They hit the post that they could have made it 3-0. And then they went round the goalkeeper 5 minutes later, and then Mickey van der Ven with the big challenge. And that's fantastic. But if they were slightly more clinical, they could have had 5 in the first half alone.
Yeah.
And we didn't lay a glove on them. And that, to me, is a concern. When one player's not playing well, it's them. When the whole team's not playing well, that's a system problem for me.
Agreed. It's definitely, we got to look at the manager. We've 100% got to look at the manager, but also, I think you alluded to it. For me, I think there's areas other than the ones he signed that, for me, are just not good enough. Anyway, let's not get bogged down into this just now. We're going to review it in more detail. I want to get through the chat. Matthew Bullman, a Liverpool fan, big up the channel. Thank you, mate. He said to me, "I think your players are taking Frank for a ride." I think you're right. I don't think the players are playing for him at the moment. But then again, is that on the manager? Is that on the players? For me, it's both. And I think it's an absolute shame that we're in this situation. Kev Williams, loving the new profile picture, mate. Hope you're good. He's saying, "Good afternoon, gents. After 46 years of supporting Spurs, I've reached a point where I'm emotionless. When we score, when we concede, I don't think I enjoyed the game as much as I did, unfortunately. Am I alone?" Absolutely, you are not. Kev, I got offered a ticket for free. I didn't have to pay any money on Saturday at 8 p.m. But I said, no, I'm not going to make the 2-hour trip up to Tottenham. I'm going to stay at home, order a takeaway, and watch it on TV. And guess what? I made the right decision. Because guess what? I basically got a free takeaway rather than paying for my train. And I could switch it off when I wanted to. And that's where it's got to, Frank. As sad as that sounds, mate, I'm as passionate as a fan as they come, in my opinion. And I've got to a point where I'm like, I don't even want to watch this, mate.
This is the thing. I mean, I was saying earlier on to my mum, actually, that I take real pride in my time of supporting Tottenham in 10, 12 years, whatever it's been. I think I've only ever actually missed 5 games in terms of not watching them. And I think I was on flights for 3 of those that were like kind of out of my control. And I don't miss Tottenham. If they're on, I'll watch it. I usually play football on a Tuesday night. And I think I'm probably going to go and play football tomorrow night because I just don't have a care in the world. I know that I'll sit at home and I'll watch us, you know, but I don't know how to put this better, but fan out and probably lose 2 or 3-0. And I don't want to watch that. It's dull. Yeah. I mean, I was going out after the Fulham game the other day, and almost my only upset part, my real upset with it on Saturday night was when it was 2-0. It didn't finish 4-0, so I couldn't have left at half time. That was the worst part for it. Yeah. I didn't when it was 2-0. I never really believed we were coming back, so it might as well kill us off and let me go home.
Yeah, a bit like the Arsenal game where half the fans in your way and left at 60th minute. Big up everyone putting the comments in. I mean, we haven't been live for a while. There's already so many comments coming. I really do appreciate it. The numbers are great considering we have been away for a bit. Wilson saying, "Big up, chaps. It's not working, is it? We'll kick the can out the road for a while, but he'll get the boot." Guys, quick question in the chat, actually. A little engagement piece for those watching. I think there's like 30 of you watching on YouTube. For some reason, it's not gone live on Twitter. I need to sort that out. But big up those watching on YouTube and Facebook. Those watching, Do you think Thomas Frank could get sacked before Christmas? Because I think this is quite a big possibility. Give me a 1 in the chat, a number 1 if you think he'll get sacked before Christmas, and give me a 2 in the chat if you don't. And if you're watching on repeat, obviously do the exact same. Frank, I'll ask you in a minute, but Wilson, it's a very interesting point. Drop kick your teacher, interesting at there. He's saying 15th. Matthew's saying that Kev's a proper Tottenham fan. Big up the Liverpool fan in the chat. Big up to you. I mean, we've had Tottenham fans that are more, I don't welcome in here more than you, mate. I mean, listen, you can stay. Like, I've got people in here sometimes calling me all sorts. Ghosted saying, big up, lads. Big up, mate. Arsenal only just getting by with what they have. No teams take it to them. I think the Premier League's in a dire state. I was speaking to about this probably on the last time we were live, and Kish was saying I think the Premier League's in the darkest place it's ever been, and it's not just because Tottenham are bad. I'm not being a sore loser. I'm not being salty. I just don't think the quality is as good as it used to be. I really don't. I think Arsenal being the best team at the moment says an awful lot. I actually am not being salty. I don't think they're that good. I mean, they'll probably win the league because, I mean, Man City clearly, if they lose Haaland, it's big trouble, isn't it, really? Kev Williams, I see people around me struggling to make ends meet. I watch these footballers without a care, it seems. No excuse for any player to not give 100% at a time where families can't afford to eat. And this point here is why I will get into things and why I do not agree with Thomas Frank coming out and saying that fans can't do this and that and they're not true Tottenham fans. I don't agree with booing Vicario every time he got the ball. I think that's wrong.
Agreed.
But what I do not agree with is Thomas Frank and other players like Porro thinking they have the right to tell fans ultimately what they can and can't do. There's a way to frame it and there's a way to get the message across. But I don't like how snappy they were. And I don't like the fact that they're just basically saying, you're not a true Tottenham fan. Da, da, da. There's a way to say this and to not cause toxicity and a problem and a feud. And they have done that by being aggressive. Porro also, you saw the thumbnail of the video. Porro telling Bergvall not to clap the fans or whatever's going on there. I mean, what is going on? I mean, also, why are the players gathering at half time before they come off? That's also weird. We'll get into things. Guys. Chat's going really quickly. Really appreciate it. Guys, if you could also do me a massive favor, if you are in here, and hit the like button. It does honestly help out massively. I promise I won't ask for a like throughout the video constantly, but turn on the noti bells and subscribe as well. Let's get this little community up and running before the end of the year. Frank, I'm coming to you in just a minute. Guys in the chat think that Thomas Frank, Logan, Wilson, Stefan Everington, big up, mate. Hope you're well. Debbie Brown doesn't think that he'll get sacked. Less known does think he could get sacked. Ghosted. I'll do a little poll in a minute. Big up MKP and Henry. I'm American, says Gabby the Pitbull. I'm American and Newton, a Tottenham fan.
I'm so sorry.
Is it common for a manager to get fired in year 1? No, it's year 2. Always.
Yeah.
Always year 2.
I feel very, very, very sorry for this person because that is rough.
Please tell me you were a Tottenham fan in May because
yeah.
Because that would have been a good time to join. But if you've joined now, I actually do feel genuinely sorry for you. That is dire. Less known says, yeah, if we lose to Brentford, mate, by the way, it's going to be chaos because obviously Thomas Frank used to manage them. Toxic fan group just want to keep my sacking everyone rather than actually giving things. Do you know what? I agree with this point. Like, I think Thomas Frank should have time, but I don't think he's doing intelligent things to win over the fan base in the meantime to buy himself more time. Frank, what would you say on that?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, and I agree, I don't want to keep sacking people. I think Thomas Frank is a good coach. I think he's a good bloke. I don't know if it's going to work here. I was convinced it would have worked here in the summer, and I was excited by it. And I have been excited by it before the season started. But since the season, since probably West Ham, when we were incredible, we were good, though, that day. Since probably West Ham, I don't think I've really enjoyed watching Tottenham other than Copenhagen, probably. And they are just another awful level. Let's be real. They're of a low level. Like, they are, it's the equivalent of probably playing Burnley or someone. That we should be beating them. And so that night we could have probably scored 8. And so the disappointing bit for me is that he's not showing me anything to go, I should give him time. I want to give him time. I want to like him. I think he's a good bloke, and I think tactically he probably is quite good. But right now, he's building something that relies solely, like it did at Brentford, on not being the favourites to win games, but building and making the most of mistakes from the other side. And that isn't good enough when you have a lot of the ball and you're playing at home in big games. And bigger teams can't really act in that way. And I don't think he's understood that yet. And I think he's a little bit out of his depth, to be brutally honest. I think this sort of level is probably too much for him. And so I don't want to say I think he should go. Personally, I think he probably should.
Well, now? You think he should go now?
I don't see how this gets much better, is my honest belief.
I'm not quite there yet. I mean, I have said in my group, I have said in group chats in the heat at the moment, get rid of him, he's doing my head in. But like when I take a step back and be sort of, have a bit of, relax a bit before I think about what I'm going to say. I think give him a good few more weeks to try and turn things around, because ultimately we shouldn't be in a relegation battle. I know someone will probably say we actually might be, but it's feeling very similar to the Premier League season last year. And the only reason Ange got more time is because we were in the cups. Well, let's be honest, Champions League is a much different kettle of fish to trying to win a Europa League, which had a weak load of teams in it, really. But there we go. Anyway, sorry. Kev saying, you should have more subscribers, lads. Always a great channel and your delivery is spot on. Really appreciate that, Kev. I really appreciate you always joining, mate. Thank you very much. Those guys that always join in as well. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming back after us not being live for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. I'm really sorry for the inactivity. I'm glad a lot of you are enjoying the show so far. Wilson saying, if we get hammered by the 2, the pressure will be unbearable against Brentford and he'll crumble. But he knows Brentford more than anyone, Frank. So should be no excuses, really. We should be beating Brentford. I'll have to make a brew, but my vote will be yes, whatever the poll is, says Logan. Gabby the Pitbull saying, I started just before the Premier League season. I do broadcasting for a local university soccer team. And I figured out I should follow a big club to know what I was talking about. First of all, fair play for picking Tottenham, not like, Man City or Arsenal or whatever, but you're in for a ride, mate. If you want to stick with Tottenham, which in my opinion, you should now have to stick with us. I had to stick with Tottenham. Frank has to stick with Tottenham because our family support them. So you're in for a ride, mate. Buckle yourself in. Ashraf, hi guys. I didn't want him in the first place. I was underwhelmed by his appointment. And if we get hammered tomorrow, he has to go. The style of play sucks. And it's all about the corners and throw-ins. Yeah, Frank, this Danzo thing's worn off for me, mate. It's every time he gets a throw in, I'm just like, I just know that the keeper's going to catch it, or it's not going to turn into it. Have we even scored from the long throw in yet?
No.
So what are we doing?
I was quite enjoying it at the start of the season. I've got a couple of photos I want to bring up. There's a bit at the end. I'd left by this point. I left in like the 80th minute because I was going out and I couldn't bear watching it anymore. But there's a bit at the end where they go to take a throw on and it takes like 35 seconds and it is just the most mind-boggling thing I think I've ever seen. It's like it's worryingly bad.
Dear, less known saying bring back Gareth Bale, by the way. I mean, he's probably still better than half the players. At this rate, we'll be near the bottom of the table by New Year's. And, mate, we're getting that way anyway. Ad saying he's out of his depth due to the quality of players, needs more windows for transfers. The only thing, Ad, and I do agree with you most of the time, mate, you always put some really good comments in the chat, so thank you for that. Make sure you come over to YouTube, by the way. If you're happy on Facebook, absolutely fine, but there's a lot of people commenting on YouTube, and you can see their comments as well. But what was I going to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. What I was going to say was it's definitely to do with the quality of players. However, also in the summer, could we have signed more? And then you argue that's not Thomas Frank's fault. That's ENIC and the ownership. And, it was no surprise. You've got clips of me and Frank saying we should have signed a left winger and a striker and another fullback. So, but by the by, I don't think this team is good enough anyway. We've been held back by the penny pinching and leaving ENIC for too many years. We are in the top 10 richest clubs. Our fan base is one of the largest in the Prem. The spend culture has to change. And the other thing is our ticket prices is still probably the most or second most in the Premier League. I mean, and you go and that's what annoys me is going back to someone's point about, it being a cost of living crisis and fans still turning up to then have the audacity to question a fan's loyalty after being at the club for 3 months and Pedro Porro for 2 years. Some of these fans have been going for 40, 50, 60 years, Frank. How do you think they feel when they hear, after paying $2,000 a year for their season ticket, that they're not a true Tottenham fan? I'm sorry, you can't say that.
No, it's sorry. I will answer your question in a minute. I think we should probably bring this up very quickly. I imagine that you have seen it.
I haven't.
Then
look at that. Oh,
and this has come through.
lovely.
So
Kev, that is very generous of you, mate. Go on. I'll tell you what, Frank, you take this one. Thank you very much, though, Kev.
Will the spending improve now? Leave is left. Always still under Enix instructions. I think I said this at the time. I'm still a little bit skeptical. I mean, my hunch is that they'll do something big. This is just a pure guess, by the way. I think they'll do something big either in January or the summer. Big being Harry Kane, probably. They will do their best, I think, or they'll go back for Sessegnon again. I think they'll do something that makes people go, "Oh, they've changed." Because if they're not really going to change, then they, that will be my hunch, that they will do something early to make themselves look good. And I think that's where I think they'll go, or they will go back to Poch in the summer if they sack Thomas Frank, because they will want people on side with what they're doing, whether it's going to take, whether they're actually going to sort of continue with it or not. So that is my hunch, is that I don't think a lot's going to change. I think in the short term it might. I think in the long term, I don't think much changes.
So you think Mauricio Pochettino is coming back after the World Cup?
I think there's quite a high chance, yeah.
Oh, this club is just. I mean, I'm not even. Klopp's available. He's not coming to Tottenham. He knows that we're laughing.
Would you not want Poch back? If Frank went, would you not want Poch back after the World Cup? It's obviously not coming before.
I mean, his last couple of jobs haven't gone great, have they? I mean, Chelsea wasn't great.
Did all right at Chelsea. It didn't start well, but he did quite well at Chelsea in the end, and then he left on his own accord. The USA it's been pretty rough, but they are also just dreadful. No offense to the one who's in the chat who's American.
Got to be careful what you're saying. Got to be careful what you're saying, mate. We've got Americans in the chat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love it.
Yeah, he's not leaving before the World Cup. Definitely not.
No, there's no chance.
But back to your super chat. Really, really generous again. Thank you very much, guys. This kind of thing does help our channel, go from strength to strength. We can upgrade equipment. I'm due a camera upgrade. Frank's due a new hat. No, joking. Frank's due a new camera as well. But this kind of stuff helps the channel grow, guys. So really do appreciate your generosity, Kev. But in answer to your question, Levy leaving was still a weird one for me. I still don't know if he actually got told to leave or he decided to leave on a high. It was a bit weird, especially as he kind of went all in about we want to win the Premier League, Champions League, and then a month later he's gone. It's like, right. Anyway, Joseph Tyler, big up, mate. Another new subscriber, it looks like. Big up yourself. Said, much I love Poch, he couldn't get Spurs over the line. Guys, let's use that as a little engagement piece, little ones and twos in the chat. 1, if you would take Mauricio Pochettino back. 2, if you would not. And if you write 2, you've got to tell me what manager you would like to see. And I'm going to give a number 2 to for myself, because I don't think Poch is the right answer for going forwards. But Frank, who would you want if it's not Pochettino? I mean, I can't believe we're 20 minutes into a live. We're talking about who's our manager replacement. We've still got Thomas Frank, by the way, guys. He hasn't been sacked, but just in case it does happen, because these things can happen quite quickly in football, as we know. Who would you take? I mean, I don't feel like there's tons of great managers out there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously before the World Cup, you ain't going to get Poch. So that's not happening now. So it ultimately depends how long they back Frank and whatever. I said to you beforehand, I made a joke yesterday. I put a video up on TikTok and I made a joke in the caption of, why don't we bring Ange back as the caretaker? It was quite clearly a joke. We were dreadful under him. And I got scrutinized so badly on Twitter for no apparent reason. A lot of people who obviously can't take a joke. But I obviously wouldn't go down that route. I would, if you're going for someone that's in a job now and you want a long-term thing and you're not going to go for Poch, then I would look for Italiano, Bologna, or Sebastian Hoeneß at Stuttgart. If you're going for someone, or Pochettino would be up there for me. I think he's tactically good enough, and I think he'd work with the squad we've got, and making young players better. And I think there's also you bridge that little gap that we've got, this little disconnect at the moment. I think you bridge that pretty quickly with him. And then on the other side of it, if they were going for someone that isn't in a job now, I think my number 1 would be Xavi. I think if you were going for someone you could get quickly, sort of if Frank went, I think Xavi under Xavi would be quite exciting. And I think the idea of maybe Xavi, Bergvall, and Gray in midfield would be something that I think Xavi Hernandez would probably quite enjoy.
I knew you were going to say something like that. You stole my line. I was going to say he's probably getting our midfield at the moment, mate. He's probably still a baller. Sorry, I've missed half the chat. I want to go back to this one. I picked Tottenham because they're my college American football team is the South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecock and Spurs. I guess I like the rooster theme. Point being, the Gamecocks have hurt me plenty. You're in for a ride, mate. The Lily Whites, the Cockerels, we're gonna make your life a misery, mate. I mean, my life's a misery anyway. Darren Fearon saying the Arsenal game was embarrassing. I thought Mike Bassett took over our team.
That's an incredibly good reference to one of my favorite films ever.
What film is it?
It's Mike Bassett. He was like a Sam Allardyce sort of type. I think he was at Norwich and then he got the England job, and he was just clueless. And watch that. That's a great film. What's
the film?
It's called Mike Bassett, England manager, I think.
Is it? I've never heard of
that. That's my bit of homework for anyone watching. It's one of my favorite films ever. Unbelievable.
All right, look at that. We're talking about films on a Spurs podcast, guys. You know, we keep it real because we know that, Tottenham aren't the most interesting thing in the world at the moment. He's inherited a OBJ, a bad squad. Not really sure what you've put. Maybe it's an emoji ad, but I'll go with it. Gary Taylor, listen, another 6 games. We all know exactly where we are. Some huge games incoming. Matthew saying you had Mourinho and Conte, these managers that win everywhere. So why is Frank any different? Just saying. Absolutely, guys. If I have missed your comment, I am really sorry. I'm surprised. I'm overwhelmed with the amount of people in the live, actually. So really appreciate it. Daniel Levy knew what he was doing. He had the balls to say to the media, yeah, he just hook, line, and sinker. Mic drop moment. No more projects. Go and get a top manager with aura who walks in and is instantly the boss. Then go and back him and show everyone there is no more messing around. What about Zidane? Where is he at the moment?
I don't think he's for me. I mean, I listen. His record is unbelievable, but I think he had a ridiculous side, and I think there's a reason he's gone nowhere else since. I'm not sure he's of. I mean, I read that he might go to France, but I'm not sure if he's not for me personally. But it would be pretty cool to say that Zinedine Zidane manages your football club. Exactly. And then I look at like Tel and Audibert and the young French kids we've got, and that could be quite exciting.
Yeah, don't get wrong. I think Zidane might be better than Xavi Simons at the moment as well. Kev Williams, if Poch was given the funding he was asking for, he would have won the Prem and Champions League. We were 1 or 2 players short, mate. 100%. It was a massive shame to see. But guys, going to get into the slides we prepared. 30 minutes in, we haven't even looked at it. But unfortunately, this is how the players were rated against Fulham. I think this is being nice, whatever site this is. Frank, what site's this?
This is FootMob.
FootMob giving Vicario 4.9. I think he's lucky to get out of the 2s, to be honest. Pedro Porro 7.1. Again, I think that's way too high. Honestly, to be honest, I'm not even going to look at these ratings, Frank. Let's rate them ourselves. So, and guys in the chat, time to you to rate as well. 1 to 10. What are we giving Vicario? Yeah, these marks are way off, Saz. 100%. 1 to 10 Vicario. I'm going 2, Frank. What are you going?
3, just to be nice.
Porro, I'm going 5 at best.
2. I thought it was dreadful.
Why is it gone 7.1?
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, let me have a look. 1 second. Just if 1 second. I want to see how many crosses he attempted because I was going mental watching this. His crossing numbers. Let's have a look. Attack
-1.
Here you go. He put in 16 crosses on Saturday, and he completed 3 of them. That is 19%.
What, Porro?
I mean that's just diabolical.
And he was at fault for the mess up. We concede from that where he lost the ball?
It was the one where they went around the goalkeeper.
That's right.
And Van der Ven won it. I mean, but this is like a common theme. I mean, I look at the Arsenal one. Did he put in? If he put in any, they didn't even play it.
Oh, what's going on? I can't hear you, Frank.
Sorry. I accidentally hit mute. The Arsenal one, the Man United game, we drew 2-2. 12 crosses attempted, 1 completed, 8%. It's so poor.
Yeah, that's
so poor.
That's terrible.
So yeah, anyway, I give him a 2.
Okay, Right, guys, keep putting your numbers in. I'm looking at your numbers. Danzo, 5, 4.
I'm going 3. I think he was largely at fault for the first goal, and I think on the ball he was dreadful.
Okay, so far we've got 2, 3, and 3. Van der Ven. I mean, he saved the goal, so I'll give it him a 6.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. He's the main man, isn't he? I genuinely think we'd be in the bottom 3 without him this year.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The guy's unbelievable, and he's not going to want to stick around. Like, I love him, but he's not going to want to be here. But why would you?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's too good.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah, Udogie. Not a good game either.
Right. I thought he was okay. Not great,
but not great. Like
okay.
At best, a 5 or a 6.
Yeah,
right?
I'd probably agree with that. I thought he was all right.
Kudus for me was our player of the match, even though he wasn't insane. I thought, his goal was good, but maybe you disagree.
I would go with Bergvall was probably the better player out of the 2. I thought Kudus had an all right game. I'd probably give Kudus a 6. Like, the goal was nice, but yeah, I thought his general game was whatever.
Okay, guys, let us know what you think on Kudus. Gray.
I thought he was okay. I thought he was all right, but nothing too special. Probably a 5.
Palhinha?
He was driving me mental. 3. I messaged my dad. I messaged my dad, who wasn't there on Saturday night, and I said in just a very simple message, Palhinha equals Højbjerg. And it was making me annoyed. Yeah, he's so poor at doing anything other. Like, his tackling's fantastic, but as soon as he's on the ball, the guy is useless. like utterly useless.
Oh god. 2s for Jow. 2 for Jow. 3. Oh my goodness. I'm giving him a 4. Bergvall, I think, had a good game. I give him at best a 7.
I was going to go 7. I think he was our best player, so I'll go with Bergvall. And the pass for the goal was lovely, so I'll go for a 7.
Colin Marley, Richarlison, big problems. I thought I saw the light when they played against PSG. I thought they were combining quite well, but I thought they was like Dumb and Dumber up front the other day.
Yeah, Colin Marley was a little bit unlucky with the header that went just wide. He probably should have done better with the one that he backhilled out the 2. But at least he kind of runs around a bit. At least I don't think he was very good, by the way. But at least he kind of looks like he's giving you something. The other one, I don't even want to rate. I mean, I just can't stand him.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a bad game against. He scored 3 goals in a row before that, Frank. Richarlison.
I know, and it was painful because I just don't think he's very good, and I just don't. The fact he hasn't been injured yet as well is quite incredible. That's coming. That's brewing. We all know that's brewing. The guy is going to get cropped for a couple of months soon. There's no way he stays fit for a whole season. It just does not happen. But yeah, no, I'm just a bit. I'm just bored of him, to be honest.
Okay, last bit on this segment, guys. Give us your man of the match. I know it's difficult because we lost 2-1 and we played like absolute rubbish, but yeah, I'm going Kudus. You're going Bergvall. Guys, let us know who you think was man of the match. How Porro's got a 7.1 on this website, I have no idea. But there's the stats. We were on top on possession. We had more expected goals, despite it not even being over 1 yet again. Total shots 14 to Fulham 7. On target 2. That's a real problem as well. Having a what's that? 12% on target record. That is quite concerning. And here's the Premier League table. You just about squeezed us in, Frank, with 12th place, 18 points, 5 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses, but with a +5 goal difference. It's all quite close, to be honest, Frank, but we've now gone from where we were in 3rd or 4th a few weeks ago to being on the cusp of being in the bottom 5, bottom 6.
Yeah,
it's worrying.
It is worrying. It is worrying. I mean, the thing is, I looked today, our next 4 games, we've got obviously Newcastle away tomorrow, and then we're at home to Brentford, and then we've got Forest away and Liverpool at home. And whilst Liverpool have been on a rough trot and whatever, and in theory, only 2 of those are in the top half. But I can see it happening. I can see us going to Newcastle and losing. That's not a shock to me. I can see us losing to Liverpool because they're a good side, really. I know they've had a rough time, but they have good players. I can see us going to Forest and Sean Dyche's team bullying us. And I can see the stories of us losing to Brentford because, the old manager's been done by the new one. It's so obvious. And so I'm starting to get a little bit concerned that I'm not sure where we pick points up from. That's my concern. And we had a decent start to the season. The first sort of 8-9 games were actually quite nice for us. And they were quite good fixtures. We only really had City up until about the back end of October where we played Villa. And that was our last of our good run of our first 8 or 9. And since then, we've obviously picked up nothing, bar, I think, Everton. And we stopped picking up points at the back end of that run as well. And so I am a little bit concerned that, to be honest, I think if we get really heavily beaten tomorrow night, he might not make Saturday.
What, you think he could get sacked this week?
If we were to lose 4 or 5-0 tomorrow night, which I don't think is off the cards, I think tomorrow they're going to know. Newcastle are very good at it when you go away to Newcastle, that they know when there's a beaten side, they make sure they stay beat, and they're very good. They're very good at that because the crowd gets so onto them, and they had a big win at Everton at the weekend. And I think they will know that we're there for the taking, and I think that I think he'll be there on Saturday, but I think if we lose heavily tomorrow, it will be literally on Saturday or he's gone.
Saturday against Brentford as well at home.
Yeah.
Home record's terrible. What, 3 wins in 22 games now at home?
Yeah.
Guys, really, we're going to do a few more minutes. We've got a bit of analysis that Frank's going to break down from the game, as much as I don't want to keep talking about the Fulham game. We haven't even previewed the Newcastle game yet, which is, of course, tomorrow night. Guys, let us know what you think on that game. But there's about 50 of you watching on YouTube, so really great numbers, actually, guys. Really do appreciate it. Please do hit the like button if you want to see more of us. It is free to do so. Smash a like. It is down below. And, of course, turn on the notification bell so you never miss us going live. You see us on the live stream and also an offline video, which I'd really appreciate you guys coming and checking out the offline videos as well when we upload them. So you'll get a notification when we upload offline as well. And I've already said hit the like button, but subscribe if you are new as well. I'm going to catch up on chat very, very quickly. And then we are going to do that segment. Apologies. We're kind of combining it today, aren't we, Frank? Because we've had a lot of chat. We've kind of combined it all. But this is our record against Newcastle. Do you want to go through it quickly, Frank?
Yeah, it's diabolical. The 3-2 at the very bottom, I think, was the one that Nuno won, actually. So maybe this is what's going to happen. Maybe it was the one that we all thought Nuno was turning it around. It was the first game after they had their takeover. I remember Tanguy was incredible. But since then, it's been dire.
Probably one of his 4 good games, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And since then, I mean, it's been tosh. Like, you take out that friendly in the middle, the 1-1 game, we've lost 4 on the trot there. And they've been heavy beatings. The 6-1 obviously all sticks with us. The 4-0 was under Ange, and that was really bad. The 2-1 was at the start of last season.
The 6-1 was Stellini, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. I remember that game. We
4-0 down in 18 minutes, I think it was.
Yeah, and 5 after like 21. I remember playing. I mean, we played a back 4. I remember messaging. My dad was on the way home from my brother's football game to get home in time for it. And I messaged him and I said, "We're either going to lose heavily or win heavily, like win comfortably today." We're playing a back 4 with Perisic and Porro, I think, were the fullbacks. And by the time he'd got in the car to get home, and by the time he'd pulled out the car park, we were 3-0 down. And I think he turned around and linked the ball coming home to watch it.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, it's a stinker.
We've hit rock bottom. We are now a team that can't defend and can't attack. That terminal, at least when we had Ange, we could create and score goals, says Darren. It's the same as Nuno, started well and then quickly deteriorated. Very true. And he got sacked very quickly, don't forget Ashraf. Definitely going to be a difficult game against Newcastle, says James. The players quit playing for Thomas Frank. We've got the new manager in now, or we lose this team. Feels like Angie's back, sinking fast with no way back. It does feel like that, exactly, Saz. Martin Richards is saying Frank should lose his job if we lose our December games. Did like your point about Mateta earlier, mate. I don't think we're going to be getting Mateta anytime soon. Paulinho is not it, says Darren. He's not helping with the ball progressing. The top teams have DMs who are press resistant and different range of passing. Absolutely. Absolutely, it's a big problem. Big up Iron Army's in the chat. He said, my heart says give Frank one more window, but my heart has already knows that there's issues between useless because we will probably only sign 2 players on loan who have both been washed for 2 seasons. Darren saying going to Newcastle is like going to an abusing partner, and the only way to stop batting is to put a restraining order. I mean, it's one way to put it. It's one way to put it. It's not something I was thinking of, Darren. But finally, there's this tweet from Simon on Twitter saying Frank seems like a good man. Frank is a good coach. Frank is someone I genuinely wanted to succeed at this club, but Frank has still not shown me anything that makes me think he's the right coach for Spurs. Frank is starting to run out of time. I think that's pretty well summarised. Frank, you brought this one up. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I think it's kind of my thoughts exactly, and I was probably looking for a tweet to kind of justify the way I was thinking, and I think this one did it. There was another one as well that I read from Jack Pitbrook, and he said, I've got it here, and he said, I fear that Tottenham are basically as bad right now as they were in January and February of like this year, but with less mitigation, less credit in the bank for the manager, and without a sense of shared purpose provided by the Europa League. And that is how I kind of feel. It's I want to back him, I want to support him, but it's starting to feel quite difficult to do so. And I think tomorrow could be quite damning. My one kind of fear is this. I wonder if I'm going to have to change my name, my legal name, to whoever we get in next. Flip it around again and keep this going.
Don't, mate. It doesn't work. Stop doing that. We're going back to knowing Thomas Frank as just Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas is AI. Thomas Frank's AI son. Imagine that. Thomas Frank's AI son, Pochettino Mauricio. That would go down well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it?
Iron Army, I do think there's a good chance to really build something. Have to be flawless the entire month. I mean, to be honest, mate, we're at the end of this tricky run of fixtures. I know you said we've got Liverpool and Nottingham Forest, which isn't easy, but the fixtures are sort of a little bit more kind. Having said that, Fulham was a great start on that, and we didn't take advantage of it. Big Mender saying, Big Mender or Big Spender? I get we need to stick with a manager and back him, but you have to be 100% know you have the right manager to back. Frank is not a man of the stats are damning. Guys, I put a poll in the YouTube chat. Should Thomas Frank be sacked? It's so far only got 15 votes, so go and click on that, guys. 67% have already had enough, and 33% are saying no, give him some more time. So make sure you get your thoughts in on that one. But Frank, we probably should do a little bit of analysis now, mate, on your board if you're ready to do so. Guys, we'll do about 5-10 minutes on this, and then we will take some questions at the end on and maybe look at the Newcastle game a little bit more. But Frank, how many slides have you got on this?
I've got 4. I've got 3 separate moments to talk about.
Sure.
The 2 goals, and then one other thing that just was, as I say, the last thing I wasn't actually there for, but watching it back, I'm so glad I wasn't, because I think I would have been going mental. First things first, the first goal, like it's as Thomas Frank said today, and he was quite right. And I know a lot of people will not particularly like this, maybe, but he talks about the expected goals, and we're in an era of football where that is a thing, and that has to be talked about, and it does have to be thought about. He said that the chances that Fulham scored from were low expected goals. They had, I think, 0.45 against us in the game. Maybe we're almost unlucky to concede 2. And I do kind of get that argument. And I'm not going to sit here and PSG scored 5 with like 1.7 the other day or something ridiculous.
Sure, but they have Vitinha that bangs it from 40 yards and seems to score most of them.
They do. And I'm not sure, I said this the other day, I'm not sure why they didn't close him down more often. They just had to keep letting him shoot from the edge of the area until one went in. But this is poor, even so, right? Danso in the previous bit gives it away with a soft header, and it wasn't the only time he did it. There's a real difference when you don't have Christian Romero. Why do I think Danso's a decent defender? Danso is a mid-table defender. Danso is the sort of defender that if he was at Crystal Palace right now, or if he was at, no, not even Palace, probably lower than that. If he was at Wolves right now, or he was at, Sunderland right now, we would not all be sitting there going, we have to sign Kevin Danso. We'd be sitting there going, Danso's all right. Danso's decent. As I sit there and go, Daniel Ballard's decent. I'm not desperate to sign him from Sunderland. I think he's a decent defender and he's doing well. But I think that's what Danso is. He nearly went to Wolves before he came to us. He's a decent defender, which for a backup is all you really need. But it makes a difference when you don't have Christian Romero. He's poor in some of his decision-making. Some of his defending is actually quite poor. They break out really easily. COYS, who I thought was quite good.
He hit the post twice, didn't he, or once?
Yeah, he played well. He skins Pedro Porro and puts the ball across. They get a little bit unlucky, and Bergvall can't quite reach it, and obviously the deflection off Udogie in the end sort of takes it in, sort of, and the keeper's got maybe no real chance. Maybe he's a little bit sort of like blocked vision to it. But it's just poor, and it's just poor. And this is a Fulham team that have not won a game away all season. This is a Fulham team that are not that threatening going forward. And within 6 minutes, we let them score twice. And this is kind of my problem with Frank. Like, as I say, I don't want to just sit here going, he has to go. And I want to kind of do it with logic and do it with, so that there's reasoning in the way I feel. But we gave Wolves one of their only 2 points this season. We've given Fulham their only away win this season. Right? We have decent players. We have players that are good quality. Like, yeah, we have players that maybe we overrate in Porro and whatever. But Kudus, Simmons, Kolo Muani, those guys up top, and he's not playing Simmons, which is another thing that's concerning me. Those guys up top, Odobert, Tell, Richarlison, like him or loathe him, Bergvall, these are guys that are good enough to be creating chances. Maybe you don't win all these games. That's fine. That's okay. But create something. Do something. Because they're literally doing nothing. And usually with managers, like Ange was a tough one to get rid of, because yes, we lost so many games. And yes, we were awful. But we all sat there and we went, but when they're all fit, when everyone's fit, we're pretty good. And we sat there and we clung on to those first 10 games, and we clung on to bits of it where we looked brilliant in flashes. We went to Villa and won 4-0, and we were excellent. And we knew we could do it. And so we clung on to that. I'm seeing nothing to cling on to right now. We've beaten Manchester City, who we beat every year, because we just seem to suit them. We seem to suit their style and playing on the counter-attack. We've played pretty well, I would say, against PSG twice. Well, conceding 7, by the way, but pretty well against PSG twice. Yeah. And I would say we played well against Copenhagen, who are of a low level. And maybe West Ham, who had 10 men for most of it.
Do you think it's mad, though? Sorry, ruined you mid-flow. But do you think that's like kind of crazy that we're playing better against the better teams? Like Man City, we beat, obviously. PSG, we played well twice, like you said. Why is that?
I think solely because it's kind of what he knew at Brentford. That he had a team that could sit there. They would sit in, and they were so deadly on the counter attack with Vissa and Buemo, Watkins over the years, Tony, the lot of them, Ben Rama. There's so many of those players that they've had over the years, and they've obviously gone and picked up Thiago last summer, who's now scoring goals for him and doing the same thing now. You know, Damsgaard was another one that they suit it very well. That they sit in, and then go. And I actually think we should maybe absorb that a little bit. If we're going to switch this round, I'm surprised he isn't doing this. And at home, maybe don't play on the front foot as much. But we're trying to play on the front foot and yet creating nothing. So maybe don't. Drop a few yards deeper. Let teams come at you a little bit more and then hurt them. And I'm surprised that that's not a route that they're going down, because, as I say, City and PSG go at you, so there's space. Arsenal are quite deep. Chelsea are quite deep, so you're not going to get that space. You've still got to create. You still have to create something. You've got to do something, because we're doing nothing. But I'm skeptical, because the only games I've seen us do well in are the games that he did well in for Brentford, or those sorts of matchups. And the games where you have to have a lot of the ball, and you have to be, proactive and not reactive to things, which you can be in those other games. You can be reactive. You can be a little bit slower in the way you do things. You can slow the game down, and he was great at that. You can't do that when you're at home to Fulham, and when you're at home to Wolves, and when you're at home to Villa, and when you're at home to Bournemouth. I mean, literally, all 4 of those games are exactly the same. You know, he said that he learned after the Bournemouth game, and he hasn't. He's not learned. And so, why I want to back him, and I'm still kind of backing him. To be honest, I'm probably more out than I am in with him at the moment. I have to be honest. I'm probably 70-30. But there's a bit of me that goes, I want to back him because I want to see where it can go. But he's not giving me much rope to cling on to, I have to be honest.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably the what majority of the fan base is thinking right now, to be honest, mate. Darren said, I'm a bit confused why Thomas Frank has left the left-hand side against Fulham empty. Ayanami saying we play better against tougher teams since they're less set up to sit in. Our attack is horrific and cannot break anything down. Only top teams leave themselves open when pressing high. Apparently, Frank said today that Xavi is not suited to the way he wants to play in certain games. Weird signing then. Ayanami saying it's just so annoying how we invite pressure on the edge of the box. We don't close them down and even dodge the shots. Literally any professional footballer can take a shot from that distance. And big man said, you need to stick with the manager and back him. Sorry, we've read that one. I wanted to bring up something. I don't know if we're going to have time. In fact, I'm not going to bring it up because I'm going to save time. But I've just seen the Spurs Watch tweeted something from Jack Rosser. Have you seen this?
Yeah, he works at the Sun, so I'm a little bit skeptical. But yes, I have just seen it.
Okay, then. Apparently, there is growing frustration within the Tottenham squad towards manager Thomas Frank, as there is increasing confusion as to what roles players are being tasked with, as plans are thrown out or changed either close to kickoff or alarmingly early during games. But I don't think that is untrue, Frank, because that's how it seems. It seems like the players don't know what they're doing, and it seems like there is no plan or it's rushed.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a good sign. I don't know who Jack Rosser supports. My hunch is he probably supports Chelsea or Arsenal, as we saw yesterday, and I'm sure everyone's kind of onto it now that Matt Law released all that stuff, going, oh, they're all fighting, and like it's Matt Law, so every time there's a problem, he jumps onto it like a leech. So that's him never coming on this podcast. So. Yeah, I'm skeptical. I'd like to know who he supports, because that does mean a lot, and also the fact he works for the Sun. But it's quite an easy article to write given the time we're in. But it wouldn't be the greatest shock in the world if it was the case.
Sure. Cool. So that was the first one. Couple more. We've got a couple more, haven't we?
Yes, we have. So we got the second goal, which doesn't, to be honest, need overly much talking about. It's just terrible. I don't agree with the booing of him. I know you said it earlier on, and I want to kind of make it clear. I don't agree with the booing of him. I don't mind the booing at halftime. I don't mind the booing at full time. I think sometimes we've let it become a little bit normalized. Yeah. But I think it shows high standards, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. That's fine. I don't agree with booing your own players. I think just
when they're on the ball, I didn't realize that was a thing. I didn't realize that was happening.
I agree. Just once it's happened, support them. You get behind them. It's stupid. It's bad. But at least with him, and one thing I'll give him, whether you like him or loathe him, is he comes out and he actually has the balls to speak afterwards.
Yeah, and
they did the interviews and whatever. I don't see a lot of these guys doing that. I very rarely see Pedro Porro doing interviews. He can put what he wants on Instagram, but I don't very, very rarely see him do the interviews.
It didn't even make sense what he put on Instagram, so I'm not even going to read into it.
Exactly. So
he was talking about how we were bad 6 months ago, but 6 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, we won a European trophy.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really get it, but as I say, at least Vicario had the decency. I think he gets it. And I think if it was, I'm glad it almost happened to him and not someone else, because I think he's probably one to realize that, like, people don't dislike him, but it was bad. It was a bad mistake. I don't know what he's doing. You could argue.
Just kick it out.
You could argue, and I think he tried to argue this, and I'm not backing him up, by the way, that maybe Udogie should have been a better help, but he's just got to kick it out. I don't really know.
You don't play it. You just don't play it round there anyway, even if it's
you don't.
Obvious pass. You just kick it out of play. In fact, I'd rather he kicked it so hard it went into like halfway in the crowd and knock someone out than tap it out, because then someone can throw it and then do exactly what Harry Wilson did. Do it so the ball literally goes not to be picked up easily, and then get back in your goal. I mean, he was also so slow at getting back into his goal, by the way.
I think that was the worst bit for me. As bad as the not kicking.
I got to the point where I was watching, I was like, right, he's had a stinker here. He should be back. He should be pretty much back now. No, he hadn't even made it out like to the bloody 6-yard box, mate.
I think like when it went in originally, I thought there'd been a foul or something was offside or something silly had happened, because there was kind of a real slow reaction to everything. Like because he hadn't really got back, I thought, oh, something's happened. There's been a foul, or I've missed the whistle or whatever. But I was quite confused because the ball just sort of trickled in and he just was nowhere to be seen. That was the worst bit for me. You give it away, it happens. People make mistakes. I don't really have it's stupid. It's a silly mistake, but it happens. But you've got to get back. Just sprint back.
Sure. Conscious of the time. We're somehow 55 minutes in. We said today we were only going to do 30 to 40, but there we go. Yeah, completely agree. Just kick it out. I think that's the analysis on this bit. I think you said you got one more?
Yes, I've got one more little bit. that I want to talk about. And again, it's kind of just about urgency. This is the wrong one. I want the second one first. There we go. So it's just I was gone by this point. So this is not something I experienced firsthand. I'm sure anyone that watched it may have. I imagine they hadn't switched off by this point. We win a throw on. Kevin Danso is here. Porro is here. Bear in mind the time, right? There's the time. We have under 3 minutes left until this game is over. We are 2-1 down at home to a team who have not won a game away all season. We do not take this throw on until, this is an early photo of it, by the way, until I think it's 34 seconds. Until 34
What
seconds.
time was it before?
91:11. Right.
So it took 30 seconds.
Pretty much. Just under 30 seconds. I think 23, 24 seconds, right? That's and that came because Kudus went to take it and Porro went, no, I'll have it. Porro then pretends to take it, drops it, and gives it to Danso, who then the worst bit of all of this is Danso then throws it straight to him.
It's way too far out to do a long throw. He's not Superman.
I mean, it's just everything about it is awful. And they wasted 30 seconds by just, as I said earlier on, fannying about. And it's concerning. There's a lack of urgency. There's a lack of want. There's a lack of, and as I say, Porro can put on Instagram whatever he wants about, we care and it's all about emotion. Show some emotion then. Show some emotion. Speed it up. We're taking 30 seconds to take a throw on for when if we were 2-1 up, I'd be okay. That's great management. But this is dreadful management of the game, given we're supposed to have a guy who's tactically astute. I am concerned. I have to be honest.
100%. It's crazy. Have you got any more? Is that it?
No, that's it.
Cool. Guys, let us know if you enjoy those little bits of tactical breakdowns, using the screenshotter tool and the little circle things like we're on Monday Night Football. We are on Monday night and it is about football. So we're basically Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher from Wish. But guys, hope you have enjoyed. I'm going to, before we all wrap things up, ask you for 3 massive favours. Actually 4. The first one is your score prediction for the game tomorrow night at St James's Park. 8 o'clock kickoff. Excuse me. It might be 7:45 actually, but it's definitely 8 or 7:45 tomorrow night.
Quarter past 8.
I'm wrong twice. It's 8:15. Brilliant. I have to stay up even later watching Tottenham. But Frank, what's your score prediction? And guys, put in your score prediction. The 30, 40 of you watching now, score prediction in the chat. While you're putting your score prediction in the chat and I read it out, hit the like button for me, guys. Really appreciate the stream today. Really enjoyed it. Turn on the notification bell as well if you are new and subscribe. We're going to be doing much more content coming up. And also a massive thank you to Kev for your generosity there with the super chat. Really appreciate that, mate. And of course, the kind words earlier. But guys, what's your score prediction? And Frank, what is yours?
My heart, I'm going to go 3-2 Tottenham because it reminds me of the Nuno game when we won there and he was going to lose his job. My head says this could be quite this could be 3-0 tomorrow night. Put it this way, I put Voltamardi in my fantasy football team this afternoon, so that shows my confidence. So I'm gonna go 3-2 Tottenham with my heart, 3-0 Newcastle with my head.
Okay, I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham with my heart. 5-0 Newcastle. 5-1.
Yeah, it could be bad.
Seriously, it's I've just dropped my mic. It's shambolic. It really is awful. Stefan Everington saying 3-1 to the Newcastle. 8-0 to Newcastle says Darren, and 3-1 Newcastle says Big Mender. Exactly. We're not off here, Frank. This is exactly what people are saying. Darren said the players got the wrong memo. Thomas Frank said we are heading for the festive period, put on a show for the fans, but end up putting on a pantomime show with fans saying, Vicario, he's behind you. I did boo him on the night and the heat at the moment, mainly because he started shouting at Doji like he often does. He always shouts at the younger players, and then Pedro Porro's doing it to Bergvall as well, which is absolutely terrible. We got to play better against, we've already seen now. Guys, put your score prediction in the chat. If you're watching offline as well, please make sure you're smashing the like button. If you are enjoying these streams, we'll do more. Please do like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. If you're watching a repeat, do all the following. And of course, I will be replying to the comments offline. Guys, we'll see you very soon, probably to talk about the Newcastle game.
Nope.
Rudely interrupted. I think it was Frank's, minions helping him out there. But guys, really appreciate the support. Hope you've enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment. We'll see you very soon for another episode on Spurs Related. And as always, come on, you Spurs. Just about. Come on, do something.